Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SPTV Community Showcase. Today, you've got myself, Natalie, and I will be doing some readings for you, show a bit of what I can do. And if you would like to come on to Zoom to get a reading face to face pretty much through Zoom, then that's absolutely fine. Richard will put the link on for you to join. But yeah, it's nice to get that initial face to the picture, to the name, and giving you a message direct. So I'm going to say a few hellos once Richard's got it up and running, and then we'll get started. Yep, hello Terry. It's always nice to see a regular face and name. Hello, Missy Maya. Nice to meet you. We've got Tim Turner. Nice to see you. Shauna Melancon. Nice to meet you too. And Violet. Oh, I love that name. That's a nice name. I guess Yarrow here on time as well. Hello, Natalie. Don't know what I was going to call you there, but it wasn't going to be Natalie. Hello, nice to see your face. And Christine Davies, hello. Joanne Lewis, hello. And Sir Richard's getting Sir the day. Laura Grant, oh, from Canada. Nice to see you. Cindy Woodside from Facebook, hello. And Helen Smith, nice to see you too. It's nice to see the regulars. Kirsty McGee, hello. And we'll do one more hello and then I should be ready to go. Cheryl Killick, hello, nice to see you too. And Marianne from South Africa, oh, nice to see you. It's a long way away. And Stace. So this is Stacey's show. So yeah. Hello, Jill. Yep. So while I'm just saying hellos there, I do know I do have a lady here. I do know that this lady was quite a this is how we do it attitude. I do know that she was quite a strict lady as well. I'm getting here. I'm getting that she was quite a strict lady. I'm also feeling that this lady is mother. I am feeling that this lady is mother. I also know that this lady would have had quite a bit of skin condition before she passed as well, because she's making me aware that she had quite itchy skin. And I feel like this was to do with the medication that she was on. I do know that this mum would have had some stomach issues as well, because she's taking me straight to my stomach. So I do know that this lady had quite bad stomach issues. I want to give the name Alison as well. So I know the name Alison would link to this lady. And I want to say this would be a relative of this lady. I don't want to say this is this lady's name, but I do feel like this would have been a relative to mum. Right. I also know that this lady would have been quite a happy-go-lucky lady as well. I do feel like this lady did like to go out, she did like to communicate, she liked to tell a story as well. And I do feel like this lady, she would have been the first person at the window if something was going on in the street. Right. So I do know that this lady was quite a nosy lady as well. She was one of those ones. Just because she's making my way in my window there. So I'm not sure if anybody could take this lady yet, Richard. No, but Richard can take her. You can take this as your actual sister. Alison's your sister, but this would be your mum. This would be your grandmother, right? And would you understand then where this lady was quite a motherly figure to yourself, Richard? Not to you. Right. Right, okay. Can the others hear you? Just before I act like I'm talking to myself here. Don't know an Alison. Right, no, I'm definitely getting that Alison name quite strong. Yes.
Hi everybody, Richard here. I'm just saying that I can't take what Natalie has said. It's not a mother, it's a grandmother, and Alison is my sister, but Alison would have known her as a mother figure. I wouldn't.
Right. Right, okay, yeah, because I am getting quite a motherly feeling with this lady. So I do know that this lady was quite motherly. I also know that this lady, this grandmother, sorry, obviously that's me got the link wrong. But I do feel like she was quite a, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like this lady had to grow up before her time, if that makes sense. I feel like she had to grow up quite young in age. So I'm not sure if this lady became a mother quite young in age, but she's making me aware that she had to grow up quite young
Yeah,
in
she
age.
did. She had
Yeah.
my
Right.
uncle and aunties and so forth very early.
Right. Right. I also know that she was quite mature as well. I don't want to put a really old age on this lady though, if that would make sense. I don't want to say that this lady made it to like the 80s, 90s. I want to say she made it to a good age, but it wasn't an old age. Would that make sense, Richard?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. Um, I also want to say this lady was quite pernickety about how her hair was sitting. It had to
That
be
is correct.
sitting quite neat and proper.
She
I do
did.
want to put a bit of a wave to this lady's hair, so I do know this lady would have liked the rollers. Would
Oh,
that
sorry,
make
I didn't
sense?
hear that last bit.
She would have liked the rollers.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yes,
Yeah, because I want to put
100%.
quite a wave
Yeah.
to her hair. I also want to say something about this lady's nails. Your
I wouldn't
grandmother,
know.
does she like to get her nails done? But
I
not
would.
like acrylics or gel nails or anything like that, but she did like to get them painted.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know that, Richard,
No,
right?
I
That's
wouldn't.
fine, just because she's just taking my tan nails here and I can see them coloured. Um, I also know that this lady, she was one for the garden as well, because she's taking me to the garden. So she was one for the garden. But I also feel like this lady would have links to, this lady's giving me links to Ireland. Would that make sense, Richard?
Not Ireland, not as far as I'm aware. No,
Not as far as you're aware, right? Why is she
no.
giving me Ireland? Right. Would you understand where, right? Sorry, I'm trying to make out why she's giving me Ireland, Richard. 2 seconds.
That's okay.
Right. She's giving me, she's showing me a pint of lager, right? So I'm not sure if this lady would have liked a pint of lager or she's telling you to take a pint of lager, right? Because what she's giving me, she's actually giving me a pint of Carlin. So I'm not sure if you know what Carlin is, but that's what she's
Oh,
giving me.
pint of Carlin. I don't drink, so
You don't
no,
drink, but would you
no.
understand why she's giving me a pint of Carlin?
Maybe putting hairs on my chest. I
Hairs
don't
on your
know.
chest.
Sorry, I don't know.
You don't
Maybe
understand that,
saying go
Richard.
out
No,
and enjoy
that's fine.
myself a bit with a
That's
beer. I
fine.
don't know.
I'm not going to try and get it then because I'm not getting it. But she definitely took me to Ireland. Um, I want to say there's a David.
David, yes, that's my
Yeah,
father.
there's a David somewhere as well because she's giving me a David here. Right, but
Yeah,
I also know that this lady would have had a fine china as
that
well.
is
She's
correct.
giving me
Yes.
fine china.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so I do know this lady did like a china and nobody was allowed to touch it. This was her china.
yeah,
Nobody
that is
was allowed
correct.
to touch it. But she's also, would you understand where this lady Did this lady have false teeth, Richard? Because she's taking her teeth out.
I believe so.
Right, because she's taking her teeth out and she's handing me her teeth. And I actually feel like this is something that the kids at the time would have been quite grossed out about. Would that make sense?
The grandchildren, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to say that there was kids and she used to take them out and they used to go, "Ooh."
I wouldn't know that.
Right,
No.
and that would have been
Yeah.
quite a big thing. You wouldn't know that, actually. That's fine.
I think
Right, but
most
I
grandmothers
will
used
leave
to
your
do that.
grandmother's love with you, right? Because I am struggling to get more information. And thank
Yep.
you for allowing me to work with yourself, Richard.
Thank you, Natalie. That was lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right.
And just a gentle reminder, everybody, I know you can hear me still. If you do want to come onto Zoom and
Yeah.
join Natalie, you can do. I will post a link, and Natalie will try and communicate with the loved one for those who come in to Zoom. So, yeah. That's it.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Natalie. Speak to you soon.
Thank you. Right. Right, okay. Right, as I'm sitting here, I feel like I have someone's brother. I feel like I have someone's brother here. I do feel like this gentleman was taken quite suddenly. Oh, you're joking. Right, I'll give the information out, and if anybody else could take it, Richard, then that's fine. Right, but I do feel like I have a brother here. I do feel like he was taken quite suddenly. I also feel like this was quite of a blindsider as well. I don't feel like this was expected from this gentleman. As in he had it really well, if that makes sense. I do want to put it down to mental health. But I also know there was one person that knew how this gentleman was feeling. It was a small majority of people that knew how this gentleman was feeling. I also want to say that I feel like there's a bit of blame game going on within the family because he's just making me aware of that. So I do feel like there is a bit of blame game going on, a bit of guilt as well going on. But this gentleman's just making me feel like that's not needed. That's not needed. I do also know that this gentleman was quite a fun gentleman as well. This brother, he was really fun. He was a very loving, caring gentleman. So I'm not sure if anybody could take this brother yet. Son, right, okay. Right, just give me 2 seconds till I work this out because he's getting my brother. Missy, would you understand that this gentleman, your son, sorry, would have had sisters? Because I want to say there's sisters. I also want to say that I feel like nobody knew what was going on with this. There was only a small, like a tiny amount of people that actually knew how this gentleman was feeling. And I want to say they only knew because he was intoxicated one night and told them. He was a brother to my other two. Right. Right, okay. And Missy, would you understand where it's the sister that's feeling like she's got a part to blame? Right? Because he come through one full two halves, right? Because he's coming through quite. He's wanting this message to get across to the sister. So I'm not sure if you've got a sister, if he has a sister somewhere, but he's telling me my sister needs to hear this. I just, I feel like it was very sudden. He's just making me feel like there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And there was a lot. It was a bit of chaos. It was a bit of chaos after it happened. Yes, he called her that night and right. Thank you, Missy. I never answered the phone. Right, bless her. Yeah, because that's what I'm feeling. I feel like his sister needs to hear that it's not her fault. It's not her fault. just because he's just making me feel like that. I do also know that this gentleman, I have a chain here, so I know this gentleman would have worn a chain, because he's just gave me a chain here. I do also know that there is a memorial for this gentleman, and I want to put this memorial outside a public park, because he's putting a lot of like flowers and stuff at a public park. I do also know there's something being planted for this gentleman as well, because he's just making me aware that there's a plant being planted. So I'm not sure if you could take this, Missy, but that's what he's shown me. He's shown me a plant or a tree. Something's been planted for him in the garden. I also want to say there's a ring that this gentleman and a watch as well. He's given me a watch. He's given me a watch, and this is quite a dear watch as well. It's not a cheap fancy watch. It's quite a dear watch. He's showing me. I can't quite. Is it a Rolex? It's maybe a Rolex, but don't quote me on that though, because I've maybe got that wrong. But I do feel like it is a dear watch, and I want to say this is still here. I also know he would have been quite a big football supporter as well, because he's given me football here, so I know that this is something he would have done as a hobby. He would have went out and he would have played football with the boys. Is what he's making me feel here. I do know that this gentleman did have a lot of friends. He did have a lot of friends, but he just felt like nobody got him, if that makes sense. I feel like that's how he felt. He felt like nobody quite got him. I do know, I'm not sure if this gentleman had a child, but he's shown me a little girl. He's shown me a little girl, so I don't know if this gentleman had a child, or this child is a niece, or someone that really looked up to this gentleman. But that's just he's just shown me a child here running about that would have looked up to him, and I feel like that was quite a difficult time for this little girl, because I feel like she didn't quite understand why he'd gone. I'm also getting the name Robert. That is outside your back garden. Thank you. I knew there was something planted. He's just given me that. He's given me the name Bob or Robert, something like that. So I know this gentleman would have linked to your son somehow. You bought a fig tree, thank you. I know that this gentleman did have quite a big funeral as well, but I actually feel like I'm not sure if this was during COVID, Missy, or if this is somebody else coming through, but I do feel like this gentleman had a lot of, his brother has his watch, thank you. There was a lot of people at his funeral, but I don't feel like they all got in, if that makes sense. I don't feel like they all got in the venue. So whether or not there was far too many people and some had to stand outside, or this was during COVID and they did stand outside. But this is what I'm feeling, if that makes sense to yourself. He wasn't into football, but other sports. Right, well, I'm getting given a football top. And I want to say this football top is a blue. It's blue and white. I'm not saying Rangers or anything like that because I've got no idea. But he's given me a blue and white football top, so I'm not sure if that would make sense to yourself. But I think it's got the number 4 on it, because he's just shown me that there. Sorry, somebody's at my door. Yeah, so he's given me the number 4 on this, and if that's not on the t-shirt, I feel like this would be on a blue door, because that's what he's. I feel like that's what he's showing me. Blue door. It's something square. It's something rectangle. But I will leave your son's love with you. He has given me the month of February, so I feel like the month of February would be quite significant for a birthday, because he's given me balloons there. But he's also given me the month of March as well. He's given me this month, so this month would be quite significant for himself. A trampoline, purple and white top trampoline. Right, thank you. Thank you, Missy. Right, it was trampoline and he did, right, because it looked like a football. He lived at number 44. Thank you. Thank you. He was just showing me the 1 floor, but I'll take 44. That's fine. Right, thank you, Missy. And a blue door. Right. Yeah, so I will leave you your son's love, and thank you so much for allowing me to bring him through. And please let the sister know it's not her fault. So thank you. And you can take February and March. Thank you. I love it when people can take that information. He died 10 months ago today. Oh, bless. Bless. Right. Well, I'm glad I could bring him through for you, Missy. Right. Right. Now I do feel like I do have a gentleman here. Right, I'm not going to go with the link because I feel like I'm all over the place with the links at the moment. So I'll wait until I know. Richard's trying to talk to me. Sorry, Richard, what? Yes. Right. You could bring Kirsty in, I'll attempt it. I don't normally read on demand, but I can attempt. Hello, Kirsty. She's muted. You've muted, lovely. There's a wee mute button at the bottom. There we go. Hey, so we've got Kirsty coming on. I don't usually read on demand, but we'll give it a bash. I'll give it a bash and see what I can do. So, so we're just waiting on Richard setting up Kirsty for us. And I'll see what I've got. Right, so now we've got the lovely Kirsty with us. Hiya, Kirsty. Right, so I'll see what I can get for you, Shale, okay?
No worries.
Right. Now, would you understand a gentleman in spirit, Kirsty, that would have he would have took each day as it comes? Would that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, he would have took each day as it comes, and I feel like that would have been a saying that he would have said, just take each day as it comes.
Yep.
I do feel like this gentleman did have quite a lot thrown at him in life, bless him. And I also feel like this gentleman did work a lot with his hands. Would that make sense? I'm
Yep.
seeing, I'm not sure if it's woodwork or building, but he's very hands-on.
Yep.
Would that make sense, right? I also know that this gentleman would have been quite a handsome gentleman in his younger days, because he's just making me aware he would have been quite handsome in his younger days, and I feel like he would have used that. Would that make sense?
Yep.
I do feel like the older this gentleman got, though, I feel like the more mature he become as well, and I do feel like he settled down quite late in life. Would that make sense?
No, not really. Well, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. Yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah, later than normal, later than you usually would. You know, like most people kind of settle down within like their 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, would that make sense? Right.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, right? And I'll get a slap in the wrist
you're
for
fine.
that. I'll get a slap in the wrist in a minute when I go back to Clara. For giving my opinion. But that's just how I'm feeling. He's saying I settled down a wee bit later than anybody else would have. I do want to say though that this gentleman did enjoy his childhood. Would that make sense? I feel like even though he got a lot thrown at him, I feel like he made the most of it.
Yeah.
Would that make sense?
That definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, now I'm not getting a relationship with this gentleman yet. But would you understand where this gentleman would have been? I feel like he would have been quite pernickety on what he wore as well. Would that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, because I feel like he would have dressed quite I don't want to say the word proper, but everything had to match. Everything he had to look good. He
Yep.
had to look good. And I'm even seeing the polished shoes.
Yep.
Would that make
That's
sense? I'm even seeing the polished shoes. Would you understand this gentleman being dad?
Granddad.
Granddad, right. Would you understand where this gentleman would have stepped in like a dad?
Yes.
Yeah, right, because it's just giving me that fatherly feeling there. I also know that this gentleman would have liked to cook. He would have liked to cook a proper meal. Would that make sense?
Yes.
Right,
Yes, it would.
it's not every day you get a gentleman that cooks. But I
My
feel
gran
like
couldn't cook, so it had to
right,
be my
yeah, I
gran.
feel like this gentleman did cook. I
Yep.
also feel like Grandad would have been. It would have been quite an. Do you know how you normally get older people, right? And they struggle with the technology and stuff like that, right? But I feel like this gentleman didn't. I feel like he was quite quick at learning. I feel like he was quite smart. Would that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. I also feel like this gentleman, would you understand where this was quite sudden? If it wasn't sudden,
No,
would you
not really.
understand where it kind of dragged? And then
Yeah.
when he was gone, he was gone.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's just giving me, I was gone like that. Right, I was gone like that. Um, right, I also want to say there was a phone call,
Yep.
right? Because he's giving me a telephone here. So I do know that there was a phone call before this gentleman had passed. Would that make sense?
Yep.
Right. And I also want to say in this phone call, I feel like this was his goodbye. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bless you. But I do feel like this was this gentleman's goodbye. I also know that would you understand I don't want to say it was a limp as such, but I want to say he shuffled with a bit of a gait.
Yes.
Yeah, he shuffled with a
Yeah.
bit of a gait because he's just making me aware of that. I do
That's
know that
correct.
this gentleman, he would like a nap, and he would like a nap at a special occasion. Would that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like this gentleman drank loads. I feel like it was only a special occasion.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that, right? I picked that up wrong then, right? Would you understand then where, right, is there a big birthday coming up?
There is.
Right, thank you. Just because he's given me a nip here and I wanted to place this nip where it should be. Right, so would you understand where then he's coming in to give that nip for this special occasion?
Thank you.
Right, because he's given me a big zero birthday.
Yeah, it is a
He's
very
given
big.
me a big
Yeah,
zero
there's
birthday.
two actually this year, mine and my dad.
Right, right. But I also know, would you understand where the Rod Stewart comes in? Rod Stewart, the singer. He's given me Rod Stewart.
Not for him, but my mum loves Rod Stewart.
Your mum loves Rod Stewart, right? That'll be why he's bringing that in then.
Yeah, but
Right.
yeah.
Right, he's just bringing that in as a wee memory for you.
Thank
I
you.
do know that this gentleman, would you understand the bracelet?
No.
He's given me a bracelet here. Or is it
I'm not
buckle?
sure.
Have you got a tattoo
I have, yes.
for this gentleman?
I have actually, yes.
You do, right, thank you. Just because he drew me to my wrist there. And I'm like, why is he drawing me? I normally get drawn to my wrist for a watch or a bracelet.
Okay, but
Whereas
yes,
I have a tattoo on my wrist. So it was my tattoo that he was drawn to. Thank you. That's a new
yes,
one for me.
I do have a tattoo for him.
Right. But I also want to say, right, that this gentleman he's also taken me to his garden, but I feel like the older he got, he didn't quite get in his garden as much. Would that make sense?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does
'cause
make
I
sense.
feel
He went
like,
into sheltered accommodation, so he didn't
yeah,
really have a
I feel like
garden.
his garden was kind of his place to go.
Yep.
And then obviously the older he got, and obviously you're telling me this, don't feed the medium, but you've told me
Yeah. I know.
you've told me he did go into sheltered accommodation, so I feel like there wasn't a garden there for him to potter about in. Would that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I am going to give you the month of September.
That's
Um,
correct. Yep.
Yeah, the month of September, and I also want to give you the month of August.
Yep.
He's taking me back to August as well, and I want to give you balloons for August.
Yep. Correct.
Right, but I will leave you a granddad's love, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for letting me to bring them through, Kirsty.
Yeah, thank you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, love. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
You too, bye. Right, thank you, Richard. Right. Now I do feel like I have another gentleman here popping through, right? I do know that this gentleman, he would have he's drawn me straight to my teeth. Right, he's drawn me straight to my teeth. So I feel like this gentleman would have had perfect teeth. I'm not sure if this gentleman was a dentist or he just liked good teeth, but he's drawn me straight to my teeth. I also know there's something about his nose as well. I'm not sure if this gentleman had a broken nose at one point, but he's taken me to my nose, and I feel like this would have had to be placed back in place at one point as well, because he's just going like this with my nose. So I do feel like this gentleman would have had a broken nose at one point. I want to put army links. Hello, Clara. I want to put army links with this gentleman as well. I feel like this gentleman was possibly in the army at one point as well. I don't want to put an old age on this gentleman. I want to put 40s, 50s with this gentleman. And again, I want to say it was quite sudden. I want to say this gentleman suffered an injury. He's given me an injury. And I feel like this kind of put him back a wee bit. Because I feel like he had to kind of give everything up because of this injury. So I'm not sure if anybody could take this gentleman yet. I do want to say this gentleman is giving me like he's giving me like a step up. So I feel like this is like an uncle. If anybody could take this gentleman yet. My dad was army base, passed away 56 sudden. Big broken nose, not the right. I'm getting all the links wrong here, right? But I will go with Kelsey because that does seem to fit. Right. I do feel like it was like a small town this gentleman did live. So again, don't feed the medium. It's me that's to get that information. Yes, no, or I don't know, please. But what you're saying yes to, it could be my uncle. Right, Sam. Right, I don't want to change the link again because I feel like I've been changing the link quite a bit and I'm going to get a slap on the wrist for that. Clara's on watching me. He did have a nickname, right? Right. I do definitely feel like this is an uncle. I definitely feel like this is an uncle. And I want to say he was quite I feel like when he was home, he made the most of being home. I feel like he didn't go out with friends until the last thing. I feel like the first thing he did was meet up with family. Because I feel like family was quite a big thing to this gentleman. I feel like this is the reason he went to the army, was because he wanted to look after the family. Thank you, Stace. I've got Stace telling me to breathe. Yeah, because I feel like this is why he went, and I feel like this has been followed on generations. Because I feel like at least one gentleman from this family, each generation has gone and served with the army. So would anybody still be able to take this gentleman? Right. Right. I definitely feel like it's a. Kelsey, could you still understand us all being dad and not uncle? If Kelsey's still on. Not the greatest teeth. Right. I don't know, he just took me straight to my teeth. Right, okay. Right, if I've not got anybody. Right, I know. Right, I'll see what else I can get. If I can't place this gentleman, then I'll just ask him to step back. Right, I do know that this gentleman, sorry, not the army. Right, we'll take the army out, right? Just that's how I felt I felt like he was very strict and routine. He was very strict and routine. Things had to be in their place. And I feel like he was very, very sure of what he wanted. He grew up in the army base. Right. Right, Kelsey, I'm going to work with yourself, lovely, right? Because I do feel like that is fitting a wee bit more of the information. Um, right, I'm also seeing that this gentleman, he would have, like I said, he would have been quite family based. I feel like this gentleman, when he was home, he did enjoy. So I'm not sure if this gentleman did work away at one point, off seas or something, but I'm definitely getting him working away from the family, because I feel like when he was home, he made the most of it, and it was visiting the family, and then he would go out with friends. So I'm not sure if you could understand that, Kelsey, but that's what I'm picking up. I'm definitely picking up that this gentleman did work away and then come home. Yes, right. Thank you, Kelsey. Right, and I also want to say that this gentleman is. I do want to say he was. There's something about January. Something happened in January. I'm not sure if this was this gentleman's passing or somebody else's passing, but he's making me aware that it was a passing in January. There was a passing in January that knocked everybody, is what he's telling me here. It knocked everybody. So I'm not sure if this was a grandparent. Yeah, I'm going to say it was a grandparent. Something happened in January, and he's saying this knocked everybody. I feel like this hit everybody hard. I'm not saying this January past there, but I'm definitely getting taken to a January that would have hit people quite hard. I also want to say that there's something significant about this gentleman's shoulder. So I'm not sure if this gentleman had a scar on his shoulder, but he's shown me something to do with his shoulder, and I feel like it was a scar. Your grandpa passed in January, thank you. Um, but I'm getting a scar or something on the shoulder. Something on the shoulder here. He's not quite making it clear to me what. Um, right, hold on. No, it's not a scar. This is a tattoo. This is a tattoo. And I want to say this is quite a significant tattoo on the shoulder. I'm getting all the tattoos tonight. This is quite a significant tattoo. And I want to say this was done for someone. It's scars from a burn. It was scars, right? Thank you. Would you understand then when there was talk about a tattoo to cover it up? Because he's definitely he's given me a tattoo on my shoulder. I did feel like it was a scar to begin with, but then he made me wear. He has a tattoo of an eagle, right? Because he's just making me aware of something to cover it up. So I'm not sure if that's what happened there. He was giving me mismatched information. That's what I feel like it was. I also know that there's something significant about a teddy bear. He's given me a teddy bear. Now, I'm not sure if this was passed down generations, but he has given me a teddy bear, and I feel like this was a cover-up. Thank you. Yeah, he's given me a teddy bear here, right? And this is quite a worn-out teddy bear. So I do know that this teddy bear has been through a lot. Bless it. But he has given me a teddy bear here. I also want to say there's also a scary-looking clown somewhere as well. Somebody's got something about clowns. Because he's given me clowns. So I feel like somebody's got something about clowns. But I also feel like there's something going on at the moment that's kind of knocked you off a bit. Because he's just telling me you need to pick yourself back up. You need to pick yourself back up. So I feel like someone or something has knocked your confidence down at the moment. And I feel like you need to pick that back up. He's telling me. You need to pick that back up. I will leave your dad's love because that's quite a difficult link to get across there. So I will leave your dad's love, and thank you so much for allowing me to bring them through, Kelsey. Hopefully you could take most of that. Right, where am I going now? Right, I have got a lady here. Right, I am feeling very motherly with this lady, and I'm not going to change that this time, right? I do feel like I am with mum, right? I do know that this lady was quite strict, because she's just making me aware that she was quite strict. I do feel like there was a bit of a rift in the family before she was ill. I feel like there was a bit of a rift in the family. There was a bit of a split. And I do feel like it was with this lady and possibly our children. I feel like this lady, like the way she's making me feel is that she didn't quite follow the right path, is what she's making me feel. She didn't quite follow the right path. I feel like this lady, I'm just going to say it how it is. Right, I'm just going to say it how it is, and I feel like this lady, she didn't quite step up to the mother mark. She didn't quite step up to the mother mark. I do feel like this lady, she did try and make amends before she passed. I do feel like this was a cancerous condition, and I do feel like the children stepped in. I feel like the children did actually step in and look after this lady. So I'm not sure if anybody could take this, but that's what I'm feeling. No one? Yes, I'm finished with Kelsey. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Do you know if Marion could take this as well then, if she's waiting in the waiting room? Yeah, if you bring her in, I'll see. Yeah, but no, sorry. I always forget they can't hear you, Richard. Right. Sorry, we're just waiting. We've got somebody in the waiting room, so I'm unsure if she could take this message or if this is for somebody else. So we're just waiting on her connecting. And then I'll give her a wee Marion, you're on mute, lovely. No, you're all right. Yeah, no, we can't see you. You don't have to have your camera on. Could you take anything of what I was just saying then, Marion? Could you hear any of what I was just saying?
I heard it's a mom in spirit, and she she had the cancerous passing, but she didn't step up to the motherly plates. I think that's what it
Yes,
was.
and could you take
Mm,
that, Marion? Yeah?
No, I can't
No.
take that. I have got a mom in
Right.
spirit, but no.
Right, okay, right. Well, I'll continue with this message now, Marion, and then I'll see what I've got for yourself, okay?
Okay.
Right, so Laura, you could take this as mother-in-law. Right. I do feel like this lady was, like I say, I do feel like there was that big split. I do feel like this lady did not step up to the mother mark. But I do feel like the kids did kind of step in before she passed. Right, she was in hospital with cancer, we made up. Right, thank you, Laura. I also feel like that this lady was quite I want to say she did things how she wanted to do things. It was never about anybody else. I feel like this is how she wanted to do it, and this is how she did it. Right, Diane, you could take this as well. Right. Right, okay, let me try and split this then. I've got Laura and Diane. Right. I do, there's something about breathing here. I do know that this lady did struggle with her breathing, because she's definitely putting a heavy chest on me here. So I'm not sure if this lady had pneumonia before she passed or COPD. She had an underlying condition that made her breathing worse, but that's what she's given me. I also know this lady was big on jewellery as well, because she's given me jewellery here. So I do know that this lady did have quite a lot of jewellery left behind as well. I do know that there's something about newspaper clippings. And I feel like this is newspaper clippings of her children, and or one of her children. And I feel like she kept these. I do know when you were cleaning out her house, I do want to say you found these. Laura's saying yes, cancer spread everywhere, right? So I'm not sure if Diane can still take this as such, because I'm not seeing Diane's comments yet. She had lung cancer. Right, Diane, I am going to go with yourself, please, because I do feel like this was right. She loved readings, right? Okay, right, right. I'm just going to give out the message, right? Because none of you are on actual Zoom here. I am just going to give out the message, and please just take what you can from this lovely lady, because she's just coming through here. Hey, I do want to say this lady's giving me curly hair. So I'm not sure if this lady had curly hair. This might split it for you. But I do feel like this lady had dark curly hair. I do know also though there is a redhead in the family, because she's given me that redhead gene. So I do know there is a redhead in the family. I also want to say there's something to do with she's given me Doris Day. She's given me Doris Day. So I do know that this lady would have liked Doris Day. She's given me The Sound of Music as well. So I do know that there's something about musicals here. This lady liked her musicals as well. She liked the big theatre programs as well, is what she's making me aware. I do feel like Doris Day. I feel like all your Broadway stuff. I don't feel like she did go and see them, but I do feel like she did like the music from them. No newspaper clippings, right? So I'm not sure if Diane could take that, but I'm definitely getting newspaper clippings that were found. Right. I also want to say there is something about this lady. There's something about the way this lady spoke. Right. Right. I feel like this lady, she couldn't quite get her words out in the end. I feel like she still managed to say she's sorry though. So I don't feel like I need to say I'm sorry, but I feel like this lady had already verbalized that. I feel like she tried to get those words out, and you accepted. as she was saying it. I also know this lady's also showing me her nails, but I feel like this was to do with anemia. I feel like this lady she was anemic. I feel like this lady's iron levels were low. Your daughter has the red hair. Thank you, Diane. And right, Diane, I must be with yourself then. Just because she's showing me that red hair. So I do know the red hair gene is there. I also know that this lady, I feel like even though she wasn't there, the time that you spent with her was enough, if that makes sense. I feel like the time that you spent with her, she made up for all those bad times, bless her. I feel like she was quite I feel like she had a lot of making up to do. And I feel like this lady feels like she'd never made that mark kind of thing. She'd never made that mark. Because I feel like at the moments where you needed her, she wasn't there. And she's just making me feel like she's already verbalized that she was sorry. She's already verbalized that she was sorry. And so I will leave you this lady's love. And thank you for allowing me to work with you, Diane. We are going to go for a short break right now. So Richard's going to get the breaks done. And I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more, available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
A demonstration of mediumship with Deb Clark is on tonight. Deb will be offering free mediumship readings to our viewers from 8 p.m.
Join Nick Brown with Karen Wood for their midweek Let Loose show, kicking off at 10:30 a.m. UK time tomorrow morning. Enjoy a blend of laughter, conversations, readings, including moments of healing and remembrance messages. So get ready for a wake-up call. See you there.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, our popular show, Live with Spirit, offers the opportunity for different readers each week to demonstrate their psychic and mediumship abilities.
Hello and welcome back to SPTV. For those that have just joined, it's myself, Natalie, and I'm giving some readings today. So I will just continue to be from what I was doing, and I will just continue with my messages. I do feel like I have a lady here, right? And I feel like this lady was quite a good age. I feel like this lady lived to a very, very good age. This lady's taking me to her living room, bless her. She's taking me to her living room, and I want to put a red carpet on the floor. I want to put a red carpet. I also want to say this carpet had some sort of embroidery, and I feel like this was like golden black embroidery stuff that was in this carpet, right? Because that's what she's showing me. It's very rare that I get stuff like this, but that's what I'm feeling like I'm seeing here. I'm also getting red leather couch here she's given me, but I feel like this was more of a red leather, and it had wooden legs. It had wooden legs she's given me here. It was green wooden legs. It's quite a weird combination, but that's what she's given me. Red. It was red leather and green wooden legs. So I'm not sure if anybody could recognise this living room that this lady's given me, but that's what she's given me. I do feel like this lady did turn grey. I do feel like this is grandmother. I do feel like this is grandmother, if possibly great grandmother, just because she's just giving me that feeling there. I also know that this lady would have been a big part of the family, because she's just making me aware that I do know that you would visit grandmother at least once or twice a week as children, because she's just making me feel that. There's something about the garden as well. I feel like this garden, I feel like it went off into another like back area. So I feel like there was a garden, and then there would have been a gate at the back, and it would have had like a play area for children. So I'm not sure if anybody could understand this, but that's what I'm seeing here. Tracy Boyle, you could understand this. No, it's not mother, this is grandmother. I definitely feel like this is grandmother. Sounds like your nanny, Jennifer Bunn. Right. I do know that this lady did have a sense of humour, and I want to say this lady had a sense of humour to the very end, bless her. I want to say this lady, oh, I want to say she was a bit like, I'm not sure if you're Scottish, but this is what she's given me. She's given me Isa off of, what do you call it? Oh, what's the name of that programme? No, it's gone. But she's given me Isa, do you know, nosy Isa, right? So I feel like this lady was a bit of a, she'd stand at the window all day. She'd stand at the window all day. She liked to see what was going on. She was a watcher. She liked to watch what was going on in the community. Went right back to the train tracks. We visited Nanny and Grandmother Saturday. It's right. Jennifer, I'm not sure if you understand this lady's personality, but that's what I'm feeling. I feel like this lady had a big personality. She had a big sense of humour. I feel like she would always tell the jokes. She would always get a naughty little comment in there as well, because she's just making me aware of that as well. She wasn't scared to get crude. She wasn't scared to get crude. I do know that this lady, she was quite big on her garden as well, because she's making me feel like she was quite big in her garden. She's showing me picnics in her garden as well. So I feel like this lady would have sat in the garden and she would have had picnics with yourselves, with her grandchildren. And I do know there is more than one grandchild, because she's making me aware it's a big family. It's a big family. I also know that this lady, she's giving me the baffies. She's giving me the baffies. But I feel like this lady wasn't scared to launch the baffy. She wasn't scared to throw the baffy if something, the slipper, baffy, whatever you want to call it, slipper. We'll go with slipper. I feel like this lady wasn't scared to throw this slipper. She loved her garden, right? No picnics, but she did love her garden. Right? She's just showing me yourself, well, children having picnics in this garden. I do know that, yeah, this baffy would get thrown, the slipper would get thrown. she's also making me aware of a big unit. She's giving me a big unit here. And I feel like this unit is a big brown unit. I feel like it had a glass cabinets on each side, and I feel like it did have a mirror in the middle, because she's making me aware of this mirror in the middle. I feel like this would have had Gran's or Nan's ornaments in it, because I'm seeing ornaments in it. There's something about Elvis. There's something about Elvis Presley. She's giving me Elvis Presley. So I don't know where the Elvis is coming from. I don't know if she loved Elvis Presley, but she's just singing "I Ain't Got Nothing But a Hound Dog" in my ear. So yeah, I do feel like Elvis is quite prominent for this lady. This lady has shown me she did like to do things from scratch. So I do know this lady did knit, because she's going like this with the knitting needles. And I want to say it was cardigans and jumpers that this lady knitted, but I also want to say that it is a shawl. This lady knitted shawls and blankets for the babies coming into the family. And I want to say, as she got older, her hands couldn't quite do it anymore. I feel like she got quite tender in the hands. I don't know, I feel like it's maybe arthritis she got in the hands, but I feel like she was, I can't say that word on live here, but thank you. But yeah, I do feel like there is shawls and knitted blankets. I feel like some of those are still here, because she's just making me aware of that. I do know this lady had the majority of the old photos as well, so I know the old photos have been passed down. But I do want to say there's something significant about water damage. Displaying her glasses. Yeah, she's used to that. There's something here about water damage, and I feel like there was quite a big hoo-ha about these photos getting water damage. But she's saying no, it's fine. It's okay. It happens. It happens. And I feel like this is how this lady would have reacted on Earth. I feel like she was a bit like, you can't change the unexpected. It happens. These accidents happen. I will give you daffodils for this lady, because she's given me daffodils. But I also want to go to the month of April. She's given me April here. And again, she's given me balloons. So I do feel like this is a birthday. Because she's given me balloons here. And I'm not sure if somebody let balloons off for this lady, but she is showing me a lot of balloons going off. So I'm not sure if somebody let balloons. No. Sorry, that's me going before my head. There's a baby. I feel like there's a baby in the spirit world as well, and I feel like somebody has let balloons off for this little one. I feel like there's a baby that didn't quite make it to the airplane. But I will. This lady is looking after this baby though, because I feel like there is questions about if this lady has this baby. This baby does have this grandmother does have this baby. And I will give you the month of February as well. She's given me February, and she's also given me the month of September as well. But I feel like I could say every month, and you would know. You would know a birthday in 1 month. I will leave you this lady's love. Jennifer, not a baby, my son. Right, bless your baby. It's your baby. I will leave you this lady's love, Jennifer, and thank you for allowing me to bring her through. She was such a lovely energy. Right, I think that's us tonight, guys. I think that's me being on just over an hour. That's me called to time. Yes, so my Facebook page is linked on the comments somewhere. I think Richard has linked it somewhere. That is my Facebook page. That is how you get me for any messages or anything like that. If you want to book me, that's how you contact myself. It is just a new page, so it's not quite. I've not got all the followers or that yet. But if you want to have a wee nosy, you can have a wee nosy and give me a message if you would like a private reading. Also, TikTok. They have TikTok, guys. Please follow the TikTok page. I think Richard was saying there we've got about, how much was it? 400 mod. Yeah. Right. Well, we're yeah. Yes, it is, Jennifer. You can watch it back and decipher my accent. So you can watch it back. It is recorded. But yeah, like, follow, subscribe, whatever, YouTube, Facebook. We're going on them all, guys. We're going on them all. So I will love yous and leave yous, and thank you for watching me tonight. Who have we got tonight, Richard? We have Debbie at 8 o'clock tonight as well, guys. So we'll be back on at 8 o'clock with Debbie. So I'll see you all soon. Bye.